Hello everyone, welcome to the first video of Revt. In this video we're going to go through the interface of Revit. Now, depending on the version of Revit, you may have different interface. When you open Revit, this is the first interface that you have it. That might change from version to version, but the things that we want in all of the version will be similar. Now, in this version, you'll see it here, you'll have some views here, some projects that you can click on them, open them. You can add some samples that you wanted here. It will divide into two parts. Those are projects, those are families. The way that they have divided here to projects and families. Now, what a project means, what a family means. A project means that when you're starting a project, according to a discipline, whether architecture, structural, mechanical, construction, you will start whether from scratch, or you will choose a predefined templates. Now, what is the difference if I start with a new or a predefined template? It's the views, some properties that prepared for the discipline. Now, if you are an architecture, you may prefer to use architecture templates because the things, the views, the properties are defined for architectural plans and detailing. Now, for us as a structural engineer, so we prefer to use a structural template, which there are some definitions, some views and properties defined for structural engineer. Now, you can start with a new, or you can open a project that you worked before. Now, sometimes you might not see these templates there. There will be a way that you can add them. There will be extra video on how to add a specific template that you want. Now, those are projects that will work with them. However, families are basically single objects, or they call them a family of an object, that are available in Revit for us to use them for our purpose. Now, different type of column capital, different type of foundation, single footing, mat footing, combined footing. Those are available in families that we can edit their properties and use them for our purposes. There can be different type of slab, different type of beam, the shape of the beam. But we're not going to draw the beams by ourselves. It's already available as a family, then we're going to use them. Now, if you want to create families, share it with other people, you'll be able to deal with these things. But this is not our purpose here. We're not going to go for opening or editing or new families. No, we're using some content available for us for the purpose of this course. So in order to start, we're going to start with the structural template. Now, when you're opening structural template, the units of that template, it's predefined. So let's say I open this template here. It's going to bring all the saved properties for that template. Now, the unit of this template, it depends on the installation or the template that you added to the Revit interface. Now, the one I have it here, the first thing I can see it is from this scale, it's an inch. Or the way that to know the unit, you will just type UN on the keyboard, not pressing enter, nothing. You just simply type UN, just U and N. Press those two words on your keyboard while the mouse is on the screen. Just you type UN and the units will appear. Now we'll see the units here: length, area, volume, angle, slope, currency, mass density. You see them, all of them looks to be and foot-pound system. Now, it does not mean that you have to close this and find a new. No, you can just simply open it. For example, the length, I can simply change this one to meters or centimeters, whatever you prefer. Yes, let's say even if it was meter, let's say I'm working with something in centimeter, I can change it to centimeter. But let's say I'm choosing here meters. Now, this is not enough alone here. You select the meter here. This is the unit. Now, rounding. Rounding basically means that the precision that you have it. Now, let's say I need 2 decimal places to see it, or 1 decimal. For example, depending on the units that you have it, or the dimension that you have it on the plan, you'll be able to see which precision you need. For example, if this is in meter, this is in meter. Now, if I have 1 decimal, it means that I'm measuring, for example, this is 1.1. If it is 0.1, it basically means 10 centimeter. Since we know that 100 centimeter will be a meter. So for example, the precision is up to me. If I need millimeter, I can have it. If I need all the centimeters, then these 2 decimals are required if your precision is centimeter. Like it is 2 decimal, what does it mean? 0.01 meter, it means what? Will be 1 centimeter. If I need millim precision, I can go here, or it's better to change this one to millimeter in that case and make the precision 0. I mean, you don't need to go beyond millimeter here. 1 millimeter, it's enough for your precision. Whatever you're doing it, whatever the things that you have, the precision basically, it's 1 millimeter. So the precision is up to us, depend on the plan that we have it, but you'll go with meter, and let's say I'm doing the precision with 2 decimal precision. Remember, this is for what is important here. It does not mean that if you choose something, for example, 0 will be wrong. No, but when you enter something, it will be rounded off. If you have a dimension, let's say that I have a dimension is 1.576, if I don't have 3 decimal there, I cannot input that value. For example, this is 3 decimal, it means that if I have a value, let's say that I have somewhere one dimension is 1.567, I can input this one because I have 3 digits here, which 3 decimal places has been selected here. This is meter, and the rest of them will be 56 centimeter, 7 millimeter. So that's something that you have to know according to the plans of the input that you have, you will decide your precision. Then the symbol, do you want to see meter to be written? That's something nice. Why? Because if someone write 1 for me here, how do I know this is what? So Revit is providing this for us directly. It will write for us 1 meter. Whenever you input something, for example 0.2, if you made a mistake, directly Revit will put the meter here, so you will realize that, oh, it's a meter. So you have to change it to something if it is wrong. So this is good to provide the unit symbol. It's okay if you don't provide it, but it's better to provide it unit symbol. The other thing that we need to do it here, it's good to do it, is suppress trailing zeros. Now what does that mean? Since I decided to have 3 digits, 3 decimal places, yes, so Revit, since working with these things, if you say that I have a distance which is 2 meter, Revit will put like this 2, 0, 0, 0. Why? Because we chose 3 decimal places, and it's not gonna, it's doing for all the dimension, so provided like this 0, 0, 0. Do you want these zeros to be there? It does not mean anything, yes? So when you click on the suppress trailing zeros, if there is all zeros, this will be shown as 2. Even if it's 3 decimal places, because this is nothing, those are 0, it will place it as 2. For example, if you have 1.900, those 2 zeros will not be shown. Will just be shown as 1.9. Which one is 1.9? This is good to be pressed. So I chose meter, 3 decimal places, 0, suppress trailing. Now this can change according to the plan, but I prefer you for the unit, and trailing to always select them. The decimal as well changes according to the unit. Remember, those two are related to each other, because if it's 1 millimeter, then no need to have a lot of precisions. You're not going to have micrometer precision in the structural detailing. I mean, let's say even some millimeter, it's more than enough for the things that we have it here. So, well, you realize that if the template is not metric system, I have to change the other ones. Yes, I changed the length. The area, I'm going to change to square meter. Don't worry, I'm going to provide a metric system for you, but I need you to know the units in case if you're working somewhere to change the unit. I'll provide a metric system template that you don't need to change these things. It's already prepared. So, again, the same way, square meter. Do you need precision for the square meters? For example, 2 precision, 3 precision. Yes, we want to see the meter square. I want to press the trailing 0. It's pressing OK. Then what else? I want to change the volume. I'm going to change, but I want cubic feet. I want, for example, cubic meter. Now, why do we need this one? When you're doing bit of quantity, things are going to come out in cubic meter. The other was as volume as well. For example, let's say I'm choosing 3. And this is the same thing, expressing trailing 0. The area, when we're doing bill of quantity, the area of things, the wall, the rooms, that can come out as meter square. And the volume will be meter cube. Angles, it's basically decimal degree, 2 decimal. The same way, I can just check this one, press OK. Slope, it's by angle by itself. Currency, yes, when we're doing cost calculation, the currency here, it's by itself, you cannot choose anything. The only thing that you will choose is the decimal. So if you're working with money, you need to provide a lot of decimals. Yes, if it's dollar or something euro, because when you're converting it will be a lot. So decimals here is important. And the same thing we can, the units here, well, I'm not going to choose anything from here. Why? Because when you do cost calculation, we're going to provide the cost in some way that will be provided by itself in the bill of quantity. Remember, in bill of quantity, we calculate cost calculation as well. So it's going to give us the cost. Whatever you're changing something, the material you have it, that will give you the cost. So those will be the benefits of using Revit. And the mass density as well, that's kilogram per cubic meter. That's a 2 decimal, and the same thing, we have it here. You realize that if your template is not metric, you have to change every time when you start a new project. Now, if I press OK, this will be saved for this project. Yeah, things gonna change. This will be saved for this project here. Now, I will provide a metric system. Why? Because the families, everything will be in foot-pound system. So in order not to have any difficulties, I will provide a template which is a metric system template so that we can all have similar units, not to have any difficulties in the families, in the units. But remember, before starting, you have to check. Even if it's metric system, you press UN and you'll check the units to see whether it is according to what you want. Remember this, please. And then if your unit's okay, then you will start your project. Now, let's introduce the interface that we have it here. The interface, it consists of ribbons. Those are the ribbons that the icons that we're looking for. Then we have some quick access toolbars at the top here. Quick access toolbar. This is the name, search. Those are basically, we're not going to go for them this part here. Mainly all the Autodesk, they have similar. Then we have this part here, the properties and the project browser, which will work a lot with them. And we have those small icon at the bottom, which will define something related to the view here. And we have also some other icons here related to the selections, views, layers, things. And we have the main screen, which we're going to use it for drawing. Well, beside those, we have some zooming view, which will be this we use for zooming, and especially when you go for 3D to move around, I'm going to use those navigation toolbar there. Now, on the ribbons, on the ribbons, we have architecture, structural ribbon. So if you go for structural ribbon, you will see even within it's grouped. For example, structure, connection, foundation, reinforcement, model, opening, datum, work plane. Those are the things that they group them for. For example, within here you see beam, wall, column, floor, truss, bracing system, connections, like isolated wall, slab, many detailing inside them. Yes, we'll come back to them. Basically, we cover most of them in this. So we mainly look at the structure. In architecture as well, we have something that we will look at them as well. For example, if you want to go for roof, they have column, yes, they have door, wall, also they have these things. Stair, it's made to be under architecture, but also we use it as civil engineer. So we're going to show it to you how to use the case as well. Stair, ramp, railings, and then you go for system, it's mainly mechanical. As a duct, we're going to come to electrical things. We're not going to cover these things. So our expertise. So insert, it's mainly working with other things that you're linking. You have a drawing from somewhere, you're going to bring it to Revit. Those will be possible. You have a modeling somewhere, you can bring it to Revit from CAD softwares. It can be loaded here. Annotate mainly is for writing and providing detailing on the drawing. So dimensions, detail, text, tag. We'll talk about what this tag means. In a structural plan, when we have beams, we name the beams, yes? So beam B, for example, beam number 1, 2, 3, 4. So those namings will be done here through tag. Go through them at least to have some idea. Coloring and symbols. Symbols will be good for one-way slab, two-way slab, the direction of them, the stair direction, a lot of things that the elevation symbol, a lot of things that you learn from this Annotate. Analyze, basically, it's general here. It's load can be done, analytical modes. It can go for spacing because Revit is not just for civil engineers, so it can go for space analysis. It can go for energy analysis. We have it here. Checking the system, so there's many things that heating and cooling. We know that it's a good program that can be used for many disciplines, so they have things that they might not consider in discipline. So it will teach you the things that are related to your mass and site. Mainly will go for the architecture, providing topographical surfaces, components, parking lots for the site that they have it, which we're not gonna go. We might use something, but I'm not sure if it's required. Collaborate is mainly for communication, since we said that it will be, this program will be used with different discipline at the same time, so there's communication between them. Checking if there's something has been done on the software, someone can check it. There's a lot of backup history that you will see them. People can communicate between each other. Collaboration, which mainly required a teamwork. Which we're not going to go through these things, but if you work in a company, you'll gradually learn how to use these things to communicate between people, sending something, getting it. If someone modified something, how to see them, what has been changed. There will be things that will be beneficial when you're working on site. View mainly will be changing the views that we have it. Some of them will be rendering, which is going for mainly architecture. We will show it to you, but not in that much detail, because Revit has a lot of good features in rendering. The project that you have it, you can select the exact location with GPS, with a coordinate. For example, let's say that I'm in Magosa, I'm building a house, I know the exact location. I can give that location to Revit. Revit will give me the sun, the direction of the sun hitting which room will have, because of the analysis of the, basically the light analysis, they have this feature, which is lovely, and architecture, they love this feature. By providing a real shadow, real analysis, sun analysis, they'll provide how the sun is rising down, basically hitting which side of it, the windows. That will be out of our scope, but just to know it, if someone interested, they can go for those things as well. For us, we will deal with these three sections: call out, plan view, elevation. Those will be something that we'll look at them, schedule. We'll have something here. Sheet, for sure, we'll come back to them, how to prepare sheets, providing the details that we have it to people. Windows, it's mainly if you, for example, do something, you close something by mistake, you can come to use interface and you can open the things that you want. For example, status bar, these properties. See, this is one of the important things that you notice that here disappeared here. Now if you want to bring it back, you're going to come to view, and from the user interface, and you click on the properties, it will come back. So make sure that you check these things that you have: a navigation bar, project browser, properties, status bar. Those are the ones that you create. Yeah, you can add other things that you wanted, but basically if something is missing, you can come to user interface and show it there. Other things can be done. I'm not going into detail. In the manage, we have some information here. We'll come back to them. I mean, detail of the materials if we need them, because sometimes you need to cost calculation. The material that we have, it will come back here. Project parameters or project information. Now, whenever you start with a project, you will come here and you will input some information of the project that you have it. Now, the name of the organization that you're working, the description, the building name, the author, some energy detailing if you have it, or the project issue date. Those detailing, you'll do it, not for me, but if you're working outside, it's better to have it, because when you're providing sheets, which is the papers, those detailing will be shown on the papers automatically. There will be some information that we will come to additional settings. We'll explain this one when we need to have some change in the detailing things. We'll come back here. Now the other things, we're not going to go into detail of macro. We're not going to go for Dynamo. We may explain, but we'll see if we need it. Now, one feature that Revit has is add-ins. Now, there are a lot of toolbars that you can download them and add them to your Revit. Those toolbars making different, well, basically I can say it in this manner, that will make your life easier in Revit. Some work which is tedious, especially reinforcement, there are some toolbars, add-ins that different companies, they made it to work with Revit. We can install them, add them to here. You will see them, how easily it can manage our work. So add-ins basically extra features that you can add it to Revit that's not available in the Revit's program. So there are a lot of people working, they're adding things to Revit that's not available there. That's possible. Like for example, design, structural design. It's not available in Revit, yeah, but you can add it. There is load analysis that you can add the loads, the boundary condition, the load case combination, but there is no as design, for example, steel design or concrete design. But there are some add-ins you can add it, so you can do the design as well inside here. Or maybe more detailing things that can be done within here. Those are mainly the ribbon that we have it. On the quick access toolbar here, there are things that we use them a lot, so you can add extra if you want. You can remove them at something. You'll see that which one will be useful. I'm going to come back to them. Now, we'll come back to the properties. Now, this part here, a small box here, it's a dynamic box. What does dynamic means? Wherever I'm selecting, wherever I'm clicking, the property of that things will be shown. For example, now what is active here? So in the project browser, this is the plans, elevations, families, sheet, a lot of information will be inside here. So if you click on level 1, now this is on the view will be level 1, and this property here will be for level 1. If I click on the east, now the properties here will be for east. Or if I double click on west, the screen here is gonna change and those properties will be for west. Now what does east, west, north level means here? Let's go back to the level 1. Now this is the scale. So remember, this is the property for whatever you're selecting, not just the plans. You will see it later. For example, whenever I'm selecting a column, this property will be for a column. You will see it. We will go through them. We'll go through them in detail. Which one is important for us? Which one is not important? Now, on the screen that we have it here, you have the 4 direction: the west, the east, the north, and the south. This means that if you draw a building inside here, when you double click on the east, it's basically going to look at the building, it will show you the building on the east direction. If you click on the north, it's gonna show the building in the north direction. This is, you draw the shape in between 4 of them. By the way, those can be moved away. I mean, they can be moved around if the area is small here. That's possible. But mainly you draw the things in between them so that when you go to these elevations, you will see the building on the outside. So elevation, basically, the name of elevation, it's looking at the building at the outside. So the building has 4 sides, so we will have 4 elevations there. We can add more if you want. We'll come back to them. That's something else. But those will be the elevations that we have it here. So when you draw things inside here, we can look at them in the elevation. So what are the structural plans means? Structural plans means you're looking how many levels do you have. Level, basically, it's kind of, let's say something. Let's say we have a building, start with the foundation. Trying to just explain something. Then you have the columns. Then let's say there is a first floor you have it, then there's something else you go with. Now, each of them they call structural plans. Now we have a foundation structural plan. For the foundation we need it. For example, we may have a beams on the foundation. So according to what do we have, we add different plans. We need one for foundation. Maybe we need one for the beams on the foundations. There are some beams that connecting the foundation. We need one for the first floor. We need for the roof. How many floors that we have it? We may add plans for each of them. Maybe we have in between them stair. Maybe we have a staircase that we need to add one for the staircase. Maybe the staircase is going this way. We may add one for the staircase here. So plans, basically, it's a top view. Remember, those are a top view. You're looking at the top to the building that you have it. The elevations are the side views, and if you go for the 3D, you'll be able to see. So let me just add anything. Look, this is not how we're adding it, just to show you something. What do we have and how do we see things in Revit. Now, when you click on anything, we'll be detailing there. As we said that, you'll realize that here changed. I'm going to go into detail of this one. For now, I'm just adding something. Here. Now, this is a top view. You realize that this is a beam here. This is a steel beam. This is a top view. Yes. If I go to 3D view, so I double click on the 3D view. Now let's click on this here, the icon here. You'll realize that this is the column I have it here. In a 3D, I will see the building in a 3D structure, in a 3D model. If I double click on the east, it's going to show me where is this column. Look, this column is start from level 1, it goes down. It's level 1 is 0 meter, level 2 is 3 meter. We'll come back to this one. If I go to north, I will see this in a different. This is the same, but I'm looking at it in different view. If I go to, for example, level 1, I can see this one. If I go to level 2, I might not see anything. Why? Because this column basically is one of the levels. So we'll come back to this one in detail, because this is just an introduction to the interface. I don't want to go into detail how to do it, but you have to understand how to use these things. So you can change between the views. One thing you have to remember, when you open a lot of views, when you open another thing, the one before is not closed. So if I just simply look, there's a lot of windows I opened there, yes? A lot of windows open there. In order to manage this one, what will you do? When you open something, there is something at the bottom here. It says close hidden windows. At the status bar here, I just simply say close this one here. We prefer to click this one frequently in order to make your Revit faster, because there will be a lot of open windows if you don't close them. In that case, you will struggle with some slow motions in the work. Now, there are some things here, I'll come back to them, the scale, the views, those things that will come back to them as well. So that those are the status bar, we have it here. The scale of the things that we have it here. Like you can change the scale automatically. You don't need to worry about the scale. You draw the things and you change the scale, it will change by itself. The detailing, how do you want to see the detailing? Say I wanted the detailing, fine detailing. When you change things, this is for south, yes? If I go to west, the west detailing is different than south. So Revit has this option that any view that you have, but you can have different scaling for it. You can have different scaling for different views. I mean, for example, level 1, it's, for example, the scale of it 1 to 100. For the level 2, I can change this one to something else, 1 to 200. It's up to me. The detail of them. I mean, you will see here, detail level, it will give us a fine detail, medium detail. You'll understand this one when we start drawing the things. There will be something here which is sun path, by default is off. We don't need to sun always there. Some shadowing, we have it here. Shadow is off. There's something we'll talk about, the crop. Some of them will come back to them. How do we see them? So mainly this is the Revit interface that we have it. We're mainly working with a structure, But when I said that go to plan, you will come here. Remember, when I said that go to level something, or when I say go to elevation, you will double click on the elevation, then it will be activated here, then you will start doing the things that you have it. Now, renaming those things, we'll come back to them. We'll prefer to rename them for us to know what we're doing there. I believe this is enough for the interface. For now, I need you to try. I'll provide the link in order for downloading, and you'll go through these things at least to know which one is what. Please try to just go around and not change things for now. I mean, even if you change it, we'll provide you a different template in order all of us to have the same things together. I'll provide different contents, families for us, so everyone will use them similarly. Thanks for watching.